What's up, Macon-Bibb? It's Edna Adams.
And Olivia Walter.
And you're listening to
Making It.
We also have a special guest.
I thought she might join us in saying the making it part.
Emily Hopkins, which is our Emily Hopkins, our digital content specialist. She started about 3 weeks ago, and we have her on right now. What's up, Emily?
Hey, thank you. I am so glad to be here. Thank you all for having me on.
Yeah, it's been a crazy first couple weeks. You've been here now. You've joined us 3 weeks ago?
Yes, 3 weeks ago.
And we've put you through like a whole whirlwind the first 3 weeks.
Especially the first week.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
That's right.
I went on top of the ladder at the
fire station.
Yeah.
Slightly terrifying. It was fun.
Yeah. But what other job could you have possibly had that would have gotten you that experience, right?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly.
I have traveled all throughout Macon, I feel, in the past 3 weeks and just done a lot of crazy, fun, insane things.
Do you understand now during the interview, we were like, we do a lot of different things. Our days are never the same.
Yes.
Do you believe us now?
I believe y'all. That makes total sense. I understand why you couldn't explain to me what goes on day to day.
Just be prepared for anything.
Yeah.
Every day is different. How are you? Mental check-in.
Great.
On the record.
I'm really great. I'm really enjoying it. I love my coworkers.
Oh, good.
I'm blushing.
And it's just been really fun.
Yeah.
It's been a nice change from my past position, and it's great.
Awesome.
Well, we love what you're doing. You're doing great. We've definitely seen an improvement in our social media these past few weeks, and we appreciate you doing that and just really going at it at full force.
Yeah, of course.
And you've been here for this past 3 weeks, and March is one of our most favorite months of the year.
It is my favorite month of the year now.
Yes, I mean, Edna officially has a 1-year-old.
I do. I know it's been great. It's crazy for everyone that says like when you have kids, like it just goes by really fast. It is so true.
It's true.
We celebrated his birthday with a little party. We had that at Lake Tobosoffke at the Sandy Beach Park Pavilion. It is beautiful out there. So thank you so much to Lake Tobosoffke for your crew, for being super accommodating. If you guys are ever looking for a venue, highly recommend.
Yes,
they've got that one, and they've got Claystone. So we had to shift there because of the weather, and it's Georgia weather. You just never know what it's going to do. Again, highly recommend if you need a venue or a place, or you just want to have a family reunion or whatever that is. Check out Lake Tobosoffke.
What was the theme?
One happy camper. I know, it was really. I took a lot of pride in the details of it. It was so fun. My mom always made like our birthday parties really, really fun, and it's just amazing to be able to do that now. So
yeah, and you got to actually go celebrate his birthday in New York City.
Yeah,
for a really, really great reason, and I want to congratulate you because you got an award. You're kind of a big deal.
A little,
but
I'm a rising star.
Yes, you're a rising star as a women's communicator.
Yeah,
and your speech was just so heartwarming. I loved it. She touched on being a mother and as being one of her like proudest moments. And yeah, Edna, you're doing a fantastic job. And I just want to say congrats.
Thank you. It was so fun. So yeah, it was a Top Women in Communications award. That was a national recognition, which is amazing. So to be in that room in New York City, surrounded by amazing, incredible women who are in communications in different types of realms of communications, mainly PR, but there were people there from like Home Depot and CBS Sports and all that stuff, and to be in the same room as them.
County.
Yeah. Well, it was so great. It was one of those moments where like, you get in the day-to-day doing your job and, work and stuff. And so it was just like an aha moment almost.
Yeah.
Like, wow, I'm so grateful to do what I do and love what I do. I think that was just so great. So what a great way to celebrate Women's History Month too. Shout out to all the women, shout out to all the working moms, shout out to all the working dog moms and pet moms and everyone. 'Cause it's not, it's not always easy, especially as a woman. Like you don't always get taken seriously and all of that. I'm really grateful that we're in a position right now that we do. We're in great roles. We work with incredible people, but I know that that's not the case for every woman, and a lot of women have had to kind of pave the road for us to be able to do what we do. So shout out to them.
Yeah, standing on the shoulders of some giants that really lifted us up. And yeah, we've got some really amazing women that we work with, and one of the first things that Emily's been working on actually is that she's been working on a her story thing.
Her story.
So she's been featuring a lot of the women that we work with in Macon-Bibb County. And so, yeah, Emily, tell us a little bit about some of the women you've met in your first couple weeks.
So it really has been so fun. I love celebrating women.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things to do. And really what has stuck out with me a lot is I got to kind of speak with a few of the women in the fire department and learn their different stories, kind of what led them to a career in firefighting. And it has been really amazing. I have really enjoyed getting to, it's so awesome just to hear kind of everyone's background and how they end up,
their history,
her story.
And what led them, especially like in a male-dominated field.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of people, we've had some people in the comments question, whether women are capable of being firefighters. And the answer, they are.
Absolutely
they 100% are.
The answer is they are. Yes. They go through all the same training that everyone goes through, and they're just awesome. Like
it's really so great. I mean, it was a little emotional at times because just hearing their story, and it hasn't been super easy for them, especially because it is a male dominated field, and it's also just a physically active and dangerous job. I mean, they're all heroes, and it was an amazing experience just to be able to talk to them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
One other person that you covered too that I kind of helped with this was Chief Judge Shay Young.
Yes. How could I forget?
Yes.
Also amazing.
She is so great. She's the first woman and African American to serve as chief judge for the juvenile court system. Her story in, what she does, and chatting with her about how proud she feels, and she's like, this is more than just me. Like, it's, she's paving the way for other women or women of color to be in the position that she's in. And she deals with very sensitive cases. I mean, she's dealing with families, kids, children on their worst days, and she's kind of just that person that makes a really important decision in how that case goes and how someone's life turns out. And so shout out to Judge Young. You are amazing, and you're so inspiring. And I know we have plenty of women that work in Macon-Bibb County that are also inspiring. Unfortunately, we can't get to all of them.
Yeah.
I wish we could.
I know, but if you are listening, and if you do have a recommendation about somebody that's just amazing that we definitely need to cover, please reach out to us. Reach out to me, eadams@maconbibb.us, or reach out to Emily, who's working on that. I don't want to say campaign. It's more of like a spotlight on that. So if you guys have anybody that you think that is worthy, I know everyone is, but that you really want to be highlighted, shout out. Give us a shout.
And it doesn't just have to be March. We can always celebrate
Always.
women and men.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We celebrate our people.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. I said earlier, like, I referenced March as a year. I was like, oh, what a year. But it feels like it.
Yes.
I mean, we're mid-March right now.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been a crazy whirlwind.
Yeah. And we talked about a bunch of different places already in here. We talked about Lake Tobo. We talked about
the fire department.
We talked about the courts. All of these things are tied to something. It has a central thread.
Yeah. Let me give you my 2 cents, or maybe one.
1 cent.
The SPLOST, Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax. We have renewed that officially, thanks to the voters of Macon-Bibb County. This will allow our county and community to be able to make upgrades and renovations, and maybe even build something that is going to impact our community. And so we've been showing you guys in multiple different realms of like how the SPLOST has helped out. Most importantly, I mean, most recently, really, we just did a groundbreaking over at Memorial Park Recreation Center, because they're getting about $1 million in renovations and upgrades. And I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it really is, because if you think about what a recreation center does for our community, for our neighborhood, the people that work at our recreation centers are so important to our community, because they're essentially that point of contact that we have with our community, because they get to talk to their neighbors and the people that go through those recreation centers every single day. To some people living in the neighborhood, that might be their escape for kids, you know, because our recreation centers offer a lot. They've got a playground, they've got sports, some of them have pools, some of them have computer labs. Like it just varies in different ways. So our recreation centers are really important.
Yes.
So it's important that we take care of them. So what we're seeing at Memorial Park is we'll see a renovated baseball field. We'll see new pickleball and tennis courts. We'll see a new adaptive playground that will help people and kids of, all different ages and aspects in life. Upgrades to the pool house, some sprucing up of the building, because, wear and tear happens.
And all of that wouldn't be able to happen without the SPLOST.
Yeah.
And what's crazy to think about is, I think when we talked about this in the Clay Murphy episode, is like, it could happen. It would just take so much longer because we would have to put those tax dollars to the necessities of the getting improvements to our public safety first. And then it would not get filtered to...
Right. There would be priorities. Yes, yeah. And rightfully so, public safety being a big one, right? A big component. And so... it helps to have this bucket of SPLOST dollars. And, 70% of it is paid from people that don't even live here.
Exactly.
That work here, or they're visiting, or they come to shop here. So you really got to think about, we are the hub for Middle Georgia. I mean, some areas are rural. Yeah. They're beautiful. They're rural. They don't have the things that we have. And so people are coming out here and they're shopping and they're working here and they're doing all the things. And so they're spending money. Yeah. Whether they're getting gas or grocery shopping or whatever that is, a penny goes to us, a penny of that dollar.
Yeah, and it's going to help get nicer sidewalks and
road improvements. That's a big one for this SPLOST that was just recently passed. There's a lot more emphasis on getting roads repaved or resurfaced, or I know we want to fix those potholes. I've got my list of roads too, guys. I see your comments. I
got my checklist.
Yes. Because everyone has their, everyone lives in a different area and you've got a different route to work and everything. And so I've got mine too. I'm ready. I'm ready to see these. But yeah, it's not just recreation centers. It's public safety. I mean, new ladder trucks, fire engines that are so needed. Yeah, so many different things. We actually, if you go to our Facebook, you'll be able to see a whole album of our Thanks Penny pictures. And so you'll be able to see the health department on that. I mean, that brand new health department on Forsyth is beautiful. And that was paid with SPLOST dollars. Economic development. We were able to have $1 billion investment year, private investment, because of the money that was put into infrastructure projects and stuff that have to do with economic development. I could go on and on. You guys go listen to that Clay Murphy episode, because he really dives into the dreaded question of what would happen if we didn't have this.
Absolutely.
I don't want to live in a world like that.
No.
And we don't have to.
No. We don't have to. That I know. So great. I mean, there's just been a lot that we've been going through in March. We're only halfway there. Cherry Blossom
I was about to
Festival.
Say. And then, yes, we've another reason why we love March is because it's Cherry Blossom Festival time. And it's just so great. You got, pink pancake breakfast. Speaking of fire department, they do their pink pancake breakfast every Saturday during Cherry Blossom.
Yeah.
And then they have the Guns and Hoses baseball game that you get to watch during that time. But then there's so many other Cherry Blossom events that happen. You can go to Carolyn Creighton Park and ride the rides and have a lemonade and any of your great carnival kind of snacks, or you can see some of the live music. One of my good friends is performing in Tier Blue.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Love Tier Blue.
I also just want to point out there is, by the time this comes out, the race will be over, but there is a wiener dog race this Saturday at 12:30 that I am so excited for.
Yes. The wiener dog, the wiener dog race is a big highlight. So that is.
I'm excited for the pancake breakfast. I haven't been. It just hasn't worked out. But this year I'm really excited because I do have a 1-year-old now who loves pancakes, loves eggs, and all the proceeds that are made there go to helping children with medical needs. And so thank you to the fire department who does that. It's a labor of love for them. A lot of them doing this on their days off. So shout out to them. You have 2 opportunities. Of course, by the time this airs, the first one will have already passed. But if you're listening to this on Tuesday, you could go to the next one, which is March 29th.
Yeah.
And so that's from 7 to 10:30. Tickets are $8 for adults and $4 for children 5 and under. Again, there will be entertainment and stuff. So check out that. And if you're listening to this right now, too, you still have time to make it out to 3rd Street Park because they have their free pink ice cream and Coca-Cola. It's a great little walk, a lunch
break.
walk.
Yeah, a break from your work.
Yeah, we're so lucky that we get to work downtown, that we could just walk over there. That happens from 11:30 to 1 p.m. So it'll be going on until the 28th, which is on Friday.
Yeah, Emily, you mentioned you were looking forward to the wiener dog races, but
yes,
we didn't mention this earlier, but you are new-ish to Macon.
Yes.
Like since October?
Moved here in October.
So my guess is this your first cherry blossom?
This is my first cherry blossom.
Awesome!
I am so excited. I really am.
It's going to be great.
It's
You're
going to
gonna
be a ton
love
of
it.
fun.
Especially,
We paint the town pink.
Yeah, literally. Shout out to our Parks and Beautification Department, Public Works, Facilities Management, for
Parks and Rec, all of them.
Yeah, gosh, you guys are amazing. Y'all are part of this. Thank you to the Cherry Blossom Festival that works all year round to put this on and make sure this is the best.
Yes.
And it is the best.
Absolutely.
And the weather is supposed to be really nice too.
That's fantastic.
Yay! I'm excited.
I hear rumors that our very own Chris Floor is going to be in the inflatable. I can't come up with
musical chairs.
Yeah, the inflatable musical chairs.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, it would have already happened, but we might see if you go into the Facebook photo albums.
It's Chris Floor. I'm sure we will see a picture.
Yeah, we'll see the picture. There'll be a selfie with him with a inflatable costume on.
Yes.
So
it'll be great. I'm excited to see all the things. And we want to see your pictures too. So tag us, with Emily on board monitoring our social media. We want to see your pictures. We'd love to share them.
Please do tag us. We would love to see your photos.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, this is a great time to, Carolyn Creighton Park is downtown. There's going to be some stuff happening downtown. There's a lot happening downtown. We talk about that a lot. And with our next guest, who happens to have the same name as you, Emily, we get to dive in a little bit deeper into all the things that go on downtown and why our downtown is thriving so much. Gosh, it's an award-winning downtown.
Yeah, absolutely.
So without further ado, here is NewTown Macon's Emily Hopkins. Today's guest is Emily Hopkins. We've talked about her many times on this podcast because it's hard not to talk about her.
I know.
She does so much. She's the Vice President of External Affairs and the Main Street Manager for NewTown Macon. Emily, welcome.
Hey guys, it's so good to be here.
We're so excited to have you.
I know.
I was just really excited about having some girl chat. And, again, I said it was Women's History Month. And so it's really just an honor to have you on. So thank you for squeezing us in because I know you are a busy woman.
I don't know about that, but thank y'all for having me. And I should have said, hey gals, because it is Women's History Month.
Yes. And with a title that long, it just makes sense that you're always out and about.
Yeah. I like to stay busy, that's for sure. There's a lot going on. It's a really fun time of year in Macon, especially getting ready for cherry blossom and just all the wonderfulness that happens during the spring in Macon, especially downtown.
I feel like you have a position where you're at the forefront to so many amazing things happening in our community, and you are responsible for some of them too. We'll get a little bit more into that, but I want to talk about Emily. Emily, I met you when you were at Historic Macon. That was back in my news days.
Yeah.
And I was bugging you and I'm like, hey, when's the flea market? Can you do an interview? And you're like, sure. That was back in the day. But you how did you get to Macon? Where did you start? How does that because you're not from Macon, right?
That's right. So I'm originally from South Carolina, a really, really tiny town in the upstate right next to Clemson, which is where I went to school. So all you dogs, don't hold that against me.
Go Tigers.
Yeah, go Tigers. But I actually came to Macon by way of upstate New York. So I went to grad school in Cooperstown, which is another tiny town. And it's where the Baseball Hall of Fame is. And that's how a lot of people know it. And I got my graduate degree in museum studies. And Josh, actually, my former boss, he passed away in November unexpectedly and tragically. But I always say that he's the reason that I moved to Macon, and he didn't even realize he was recruiting me to come to Macon. But he came and spoke to my graduate program and did an 8-hour lecture, which I can't even imagine. But we have these things called professional seminars where we would hear from people in the museum field or a related field like historic preservation. And then we would have the opportunity to do some kind of exercise. And so he came and he told us about all the incredible things happening in Macon, about the work being done in Bells Hill, how preservation was being used as a catalyst for economic development and improving the quality of life in Macon and in communities. And then at the time, Historic Macon still owned the Sidney Lanier Cottage. So that was our exercise for the afternoon was, how would you reimagine and re-envision this space? And what are some opportunities with the cottage as a museum facility? And so we did that. And then that was a year before it was time for me to graduate and start looking for jobs. And when I was looking, there was an opening at Historic Macon, and I just had never forgotten when Josh came and spoke to us, and just was really amazed by what was happening in Macon, and saw this as this, incredible opportunity to come to a community that seemed like it had a lot of great stuff going on, and it did.
That gave me chills.
I love that. Like how, it's crazy how the universe works and like how everything just comes back. And I love that. And so you come to Macon, you get here, and you're like, okay, now what?
Yeah, so I moved to Macon sight unseen, and
I did that too, and it was scary.
It was really scary.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a total leap of faith, and I moved here, I knew absolutely no one. At that point, Josh had moved to NewTown, which is what created an opportunity for me at Historic Macon, because the position I moved into, the Cole Kubis, had moved into NewTown. And so I didn't know anybody, didn't even know, Josh. He was my only connection to Macon at that point.
Now he's gone.
It wasn't, he wasn't my boss at that point. But it worked out really well. The first week, I will definitely say, was a challenge, but it just very quickly, and I think a lot of people feel this when they move to Macon, is that the community was so incredibly welcoming. Yeah. I mean, if you were showing that you had any interest at all in what was going on here and wanted to be a part of the community, people were looking for those opportunities to get you engaged and connected. And truthfully, that's why I've stayed, because every time I turn around, there's something else to be involved in. There's another way to be invested in the community. And, at this point, after living here for 11 years, it's about creating those opportunities for other people now. So, I think about that a lot when we think about, the new generation of leaders moving into Macon.
Gosh. And I'm still like going back to how Josh recruited you, and then, the people that like stayed here, like to keep you here. What was your role at Historic Macon?
Yeah, so I was the special events and marketing coordinator when I started at Historic Macon. So doing the flea market, which is still my favorite event in Macon.
It
Half
is
my house
the
is flea
event
market
in Macon.
Yes.
People like have it marked in their calendars, and like people
This last time I just got a new table, a new center table in our living room, so I'm pretty excited about that one. Yeah.
Gosh, I have missed the last few of them, but I'm determined for the next one.
It's so good. I think at the fall sale, I spent $300, and I felt like I had a whole new house. It's amazing.
It's a whole refresh.
It's the best thing. It's just the best.
For people that don't know what the flea market is.
So the flea market is, again, the best event in Macon, but it is a fundraiser for Historic Macon Foundation. What they do is collect donations of household items all year long, and then they have 2 annual sales where you can go and buy furniture, outdoor pieces, dishes, linens, vinyl records, anything that you can really think
Christmas
of.
decorations.
Christmas decorations, Halloween decorations. My dining room table is from the flea market, but it's a really great fundraiser because it's so low cost for Historic Macon to put on. So you can feel really great about spending money there, knowing that, I think it was like 93 cents of every dollar goes back to Historic Macon Foundation when you shop there. But it's also a great event of repurposing things. So it really relates back to their mission of preservation and is aligned in that way. And of course, it supports a really incredible cause. But that was one of my favorite things I got to work on too when I was at Historic Macon, because I got to see all the stuff as it was coming in.
You're
First
like,
look.
I will take that.
Dibs, dibs,
Yeah.
dibs.
Yes,
And
exactly.
you earned it, so
Yeah.
you're coming home with me.
Yeah. And so I got to do a lot of events like that. And then we had something called Design, Wine, and Dine that I was in charge of. But then, of course, doing all the marketing, telling our story, making sure people knew about the incredible work that Historic Macon was doing, and events and programming. The annual Patrons Party, which is also another big favorite Macon event. That was great. And it was, but that's what brought me here, and just the connections and relationships I made there, I think, is one of the reasons why I've stayed for so long and continue to call Macon home.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then fast forward, do you go to NewTown Macon right after Historic Macon?
So right after Historic Macon, I became our community's Main Street manager.
Okay.
And at the time, Main Street was housed underneath Macon-Bibb County in the Economic and Community Development Department. And so if you're not familiar, Main Street is a national movement that is all about historic preservation in the context of economic development. And so what that means is that for the past 50 years, communities across the nation have been committing to revitalizing their historic city centers with that focus on historic preservation, but also being sure that we have things like new businesses opening, that people are living in downtown areas, that our public spaces are beautiful and inviting and places where people want to hang out and where community can really come together and experience and connect. And so that's what the whole Main Street movement is about. And so Macon has been a Main Street community since 2011, and it started under our municipal government. So I got the opportunity to move over to the county to run the Main Street program, and worked under Alex Morrison, who also has a very long title that we talked about, but did that for about 14 months. And then we had the opportunity to move the Main Street program under the umbrella of NewTown.
I did not know that. You see, I'm learning something new every single day. This was pre-Olivia and I, so you could have been working with us, but it's fine. I'm so glad that you hopped over to NewTown.
Yes.
And you've been in Macon for 11 years now. Is that
Yes,
what
that's
you said?
right.
Okay, so you've seen definitely a big transformation in what's been going on downtown, as far as the rest of the community as well. But, a lot of the work that you do is downtown.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing I always like to tell people is that when I moved to Macon in 2014, Just Tapped hadn't opened yet. And that was kind of like the first, domino that I feel like started to fall when it came to this incredible momentum that we have had in downtown Macon in the past 10 years. I mean, of course, people have been laying the groundwork and the foundation for what's been happening in downtown Macon. NewTown has been around since 1996. So it's not like Just Tapped opened or, 2014 happened and then all of a sudden everything started to fall into place. But it seemed like that was the real tipping point for a lot of things to start happening in downtown Macon. Part of that was because NewTown had started investing in housing to create a loan program through the county, through bond funds, specifically to help our local real estate developers to take our historic buildings downtown and put in apartments where people could live. And that started happening 2011, 2013. And that's what really allowed for businesses to start to have the audience that they needed and the number of people they needed living downtown, walking around downtown every day to support them. And, it's just grown from there. When NewTown Macon was founded in 1996, there were maybe a dozen people living downtown versus over 1,100 today, which is, insane
Yes.
and wild. And it's just, you see it as you walk around downtown today. You can tell that this is a place where not only do we have a great business community, but it's a community that people live in, and you really feel that.
Yeah, and I mean, we moved here around the same time, me and you. And I remember when I first moved here, a lot of these storefronts were empty. Like,
Yes.
there were so many, you'd walk downtown and there was just, you'd walk past so many doors that just, and windows that were just empty, businesses that were not being used. And now it's tough to find something that's not in use.
Yeah.
And that's just so impressive. It shows a lot to what NewTown is doing, what our businesses are having confidence in, what downtown brings to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that was so important, and what I hope people understand and what they recognize when they come downtown is that all of this is so locally driven, that we have always had to rely on Maconites to make the future and make the community that we wanted. You know, I think Josh said it best, that we had to rely on our own crazy people to make this happen, because Macon was not a place that outsiders really wanted to invest in. And it really took Macon believing in itself and the people here believing in ourselves to create this incredible transformation that's been nationally recognized now. I mean, it's truly incredible. Gives me chills thinking about it.
Well, and seeing people like take pride in that they're from Macon now. Like,
Yes.
you know, we're our own biggest cheerleaders. Like, and we have to be. And you are a big cheerleader. And then that kind of like attracts other people to be like, well, heck yeah, I want to be a part of that. And
yeah.
especially like, you know, First Fridays being an example of like how many people are downtown and how many people are getting excited. I mean, we're talking about like hype team and like the hype hounds and stuff, and we can get a little bit more into that, but it's a really good time to be in Macon right now.
Yeah. And I feel like even if you're not living here, if you're just a visitor coming to experience it for a night or a weekend, you're going to a show, you feel that too. Like the excitement is really palpable. And I feel like that has not changed since I moved here, because I just remember in 2014, the dreaded word was potential.
Yes.
It just like, oh my gosh, there's so much potential here. And you could just feel something like brewing literally under the ground. And now that I think that feeling has shifted, because it's just excitement and faith that we've, you know, delivered on this idea of potential, that we've realized it in a lot of ways, that there's still so much opportunity and so many things we can still do. But, you know, we've made it in so many ways, which is just, you know, it's incredible.
Yeah. And you also mentioned, so you said earlier, nationally recognized, and Edna mentioned that we're our own biggest cheerleaders. We did have something to cheer about recently. And the Great American Main Street Award that we received, that was, I mean, it was a lot of work that you put into getting that. And honestly, I want to say thank you, because I know you put so much work into that. And that was a big award for us to get nationally recognized by that. Could you explain a little bit more about what that award is and how we got it?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for that. But, you know, the thing I always say about that is that I got to write the story, you know, but it's really been that 30 plus years of work this entire community has invested in Macon. That's why we won that award. And what the Great American Main Street Award is, it's the only award that we have in the nation that recognizes an entire community's commitment to revitalizing their historic downtown. So there are a lot of awards out there that recognize a specific project, like a public space improvement or an event, or, you know, an individual or something like that. But there's no other award out there that recognizes the comprehensive approach that a community has applied to revitalizing their community or to their downtown. And so for us to win that in Macon is a testament to everything that's been going on from every single partner, from the county working together with the private sector, and, you know, figuring out where both resources and strengths end and the others begin, and how to, you know, dovetail those and be sure that we have this collaborative way and approach to making our community better and really building within. And so that was an incredible thing for us to be recognized in that way. And it's really because we've been able to come together as a community and work together. I think one of the things we do best in Macon is collaborate. You know, I don't feel like people here have egos like they do in other communities, that people are willing to set that aside to do what's best for Macon. Yeah. And that's, you know, that's our secret sauce. That's our superpower. That's why we're getting things done and why we're going to continue to get things done for decades to come.
That's our common thread kind of thing that we've been seeing with the guests that we've had on. What we've had, you know, Jessica with the Chamber, Alex with UDA and Planning in Public Spaces, his long title, and then Gary, and just everyone talks so highly of one another and how they work together, because you can't have one thing without the other thing.
That's right.
And it's same thing with like industry. Like Steven boasts about like the connections that he has with other people from different agencies and departments because of how great, everyone works together. Like it's important when you're bringing industry here, when you're bringing small businesses. I mean, one person that I think about is like Macon Bagels, like how they, were like, you know what? Goodbye, Florida. We're going to move to Macon and open up a bagel shop. Just things like that. Like if they had it, came through at the time that they did and talked to the people that they did, it's amazing to see and be able, again, being on the forefront of that and seeing it happen.
Yeah. And I think that's the incredible thing is that none of us are having conversations outside of this podcast to all be on the same page to say that, tell that story. Yes. And that really came to light for me, especially when we were preparing for announcing that we won the Great American Main Street Award, because we did a video that was shared at the National Main Street Conference. And, I had to identify the different people to interview for this video to really tell that story. And I did not prep these people really. I probably should have a little bit more than I did, but I really, I didn't give them a script. I didn't give them anything to say. And it was just amazing to hear everyone singing the same song from the same hymnal. And that's not, again, because we're scripted or we've all decided this is what it is. It's because we all believe in it. Mm-hmm. We all believe that we're doing this work. And it's because, we're friends and neighbors and we want what's best for Macon. And sometimes we don't always agree. But I think what's so great about this moment in time for Macon is that we can have conversations to get to resolutions that make the most sense for this community.
Yeah, there's a respect and love for each other no matter what, because we all, again, want the same thing in the end.
Well, and it's genuine. Mm-hmm. Like that's another thing too. Is like a lot of us are getting paid, we're getting paid for communications, but I'm not getting paid to sit here and, talk about how great it is. Like I love Macon. I live here, mm-hmm. It's amazing. And I also feel like I was all over the place with my description just a little bit ago, but my head looks like a big map and like there's just a bunch of like tiny like threads and like everyone is connected. And it's so great. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but that's really what it is. There's everyone just works well together.
There's like that meme from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where Charlie Day's got all the maps and lines and stuff. That's you. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was trying to do with connecting everyone. I was like,
if we had this in video form, you would see Edna just drawing all the lines. Panicked.
Well, and yeah, and also when I'm thinking about that image too, I'm thinking about your role with, what you do now. You do so many different events too in your position now. Talk to us a little bit more about that and like the things that have, I guess, went to getting that recognition for Main Street.
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, when winning that award, we talked about everything that was going on in Macon. It wasn't just this one thing or this or that. I mean, we talked so much about the Macon Action Plan, and I think that's been, when we talk about tipping points, that was definitely one of those tipping points. So it was getting us all on the same page and all of us working towards the same goals and same strategies and having that common understanding. All right, okay, this is what we're trying to do for the next 3 to 4 years. And then now we've had 3 iterations of that. It's about our work with the county and how we're able to partner and how we have the business improvement district and how that works. And, becoming Central Georgia's first and only community development financial institution or CDFI, which essentially means we're a nonprofit bank for small business and our local real estate developers. So it's just all those things coming together and how we're able to create a local ecosystem that's really durable. So, I mean, we have a real true local economy now in our downtown area. And I think that just, when we think about things that have happened in the past, like 2008 or even the pandemic, how we were able to pull all of our businesses together and have that sense of community. I mean, we lost maybe 3 or 4 businesses through the pandemic. And a lot of that was to honestly normal market churn. It wasn't really because of the pandemic. And I think that's because, we as a community have really invested in our downtown and figured out a way to be sure that it benefits our local entrepreneurs.
What would you say is your favorite thing that you do, like in your job? Can you pick one?
No.
I thought
it honestly the way she said like this.
I was about to say the way she said I thought it was like an immediate, but then it was actually an I have no idea.
No, I mean, I think honestly it's just bragging on Macon. I mean, like doing things like this, getting to write the Great American Main Street application, anytime we have an opportunity to talk to media about what's going on. I mean, that's what really lights me up, is just being able to share what we're doing here and why it's working. Because I think not many people have figured that out in other places. Like, you go and visit other places across the country, maybe even the world, and you're just like, oh, y'all don't talk to each other. y'all don't work together. And I mean, being able to tell that story is really, really exciting. But, I really love all the events that we get to plan. Like right now we're gearing up for Macon's Inner City Tour. That's always fun to prepare for that and bring together Macon's leadership to go and visit another community. And sometimes that's really fun because we get to be like, okay, y'all see that we're doing things really, really, really well here, and we're working together, and they're not. Like, sometimes it's a little intentional.
Yeah. I don't want to say, like, what's the point of doing that? But yeah, what is the goal when you guys do those inner city trips?
Yeah, I mean, the goal is to bring together Macon's leadership and create an opportunity where they're forced to network and get to know each other, but also so that they have the shared experience where they're all hearing the same thing and learning about the same things. So the purpose is to learn best practices, be inspired, see some things happening in other communities that we could take back and bring here and duplicate in Macon. It's for people who, haven't had the chance to connect with everybody in Macon yet, for them to have that opportunity and just forge deeper connections. And then, sometimes it's to be like, we got it going on. I mean, I think constantly having that validation that we're moving in the right path to keep doing what we're doing and build on that is just as important as introducing new ideas or initiatives sometimes.
Yeah. Absolutely. Sometimes you need a pat on the back.
Yeah.
Where are you guys heading this year?
We are going to Baltimore, which we're very excited about. We try to pick a community that has similar challenges and opportunities, that has similar demographics. Baltimore, of course, is a good bit bigger than Macon, but in some ways, we're really similar in the type of, challenges and things that we're experiencing. So we're going to be talking a lot about perception and how you do cheer yourself on and that sort of thing. We're going to be looking at some youth engagement programs that are somewhat similar to the MVP program. We're going to go to an Orioles game, which is, one of those fun networking opportunities, but a lot of really great stuff in Baltimore, a lot of lessons to learn.
Yeah, I love that. And you get to learn about other people's cultures too. I mean, that's a big thing. We're not just in our bubble. Like, it's not just Macon, although we live it every single day, but it's great to see that, how other cities are doing their own thing. Gosh, there's just so much going on. And I love it because when people, there's one, like, a big pet peeve of mine is when people say that there's nothing to do in Macon.
Oh my God. I can't do everything I want to do in Macon.
I know.
Yeah. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, there's a weekend. I can't make it to every single event, and I want to.
Yeah. I think actually once Emily and I got into an argument with a person in line.
We sure did.
Yeah.
What? I want to hear about this.
We were actually doing an event while this person was complaining that there wasn't things to do in Macon. We're like, you're literally doing something. What's wrong with you?
On a Wednesday night, and it's a really cool thing to do. It was a Harry Potter event that was put together by Fall Line. I mean, it was super fun. And she's like, Megan, I don't know, we're talking about Macon. We told her what was funny.
You need to leave. That's what I would have said to her.
Go here.
Yeah.
Check
out another city on a Wednesday night. See what they're doing.
Like, but anyway, there's so much going on. And the thing is like, we talked about a little bit about First Friday, but you guys have a really great team. You have your downtown hype team. You have your hype hounds. Tell us a little bit more about those teams that sort of promote those things.
Yeah, they're ambassadors.
Yeah. And this is an idea that came directly from our Main Street board. So we have a board of volunteers who are really focused on those ideas of promoting downtown as a destination, getting people excited about Macon, and also doing events and programming that make people excited to come downtown, have something to do, activating our businesses, all that good stuff. And so they came up with this idea of a hype team. And it came up specifically out of frustration that people would be down on Macon sometimes and, say there's nothing to do or complain about challenges and things of that nature. And, I think you can relate to this, Edna. It also came from frustration of the comment sections of some of our local news media and how people talked about Macon there.
Never. Goodness.
Yeah. And there would be, it'd be a positive story about downtown development. And there'd be, so many comments about like, I don't know why you're doing that. Anyway, So we were just talking about that, and like, we are so sick of having the same conversation over and over again and trying to get people to buy into what we know is true. And we realized that perception had not caught up with reality, that people still had the perception of a downtown of, 1990 versus 2017, I think is when we started the hype team, or 2019. So what we decided to do was pull together this group of ambassadors that would work in two ways. They would be out during large events and festivals and be that friendly face on the streets. So working as like a walking welcome center, making people feel safe and like the streets had eyes on it, but also getting people hyped up about what is going on by giving them information they need to have a really great experience downtown. But then also the hype team serves as social media influencers by posting about what's going on in downtown. So if you join the hype team, every single week you get a post that you can literally copy and paste the language from an email. You get a picture attached to the email, and then you post that on your social media. And so the way it works is that then by our hype team members posting, it looks more authentic because friends are seeing that from them versus NewTown, who they know we're trying to get you to downtown. But then they share with all of their networks, and then people are sharing those posts and they're seeing it through their networks. So it's been this really incredible program. People get really excited about it. We just closed applications for this upcoming year and have a great group of people who will be joining us soon. But we have about 80 active hype team members from this program. Yeah, which is really incredible when you think about that many people sharing those messages, but also being out during our major events and festivals and just being that mouthpiece and those cheerleaders for what's going on in downtown Macon, and helping us. I don't really feel like we have to fight that perception battle nearly as much as we once did. Every once in a while we have to get involved, throw some bows, but it's not often anymore. I feel like the conversations that I have with people about downtown have totally shifted. Now it's more like, well, what's next? What can you tell me about that I don't know about already? So
or how can you
that's really
top that?
exciting.
Like, I mean, it keeps getting better and better too.
Right,
And the fact that
exactly.
you guys have like applicants and you have to go through applications and stuff. I mean, that says a lot about like people wanting to be part of this.
Absolutely. And it's so fun when we do our orientations. We do that in partnership with Visit Macon. So they go through the I Am Macon training and all that good stuff to be, that those frontline hospitality volunteers. But we always ask people to share why they wanted to be on the hype team, and just to hear people say, I moved to Macon or I've lived here my entire life, and I get frustrated about hearing people, say some things, and I just love everything that's happening here and I want to help promote it. And that's what the hype team does, and that's why it's there. But then we also have the hype hounds, which Ernie is a member of.
Puppy's a part of it. Yeah, he was one of the inaugural members of the hype hounds, and he still reps his bandana everywhere he goes.
Yeah. And so the idea came from that, just building on that whole idea of social media and people sharing with their personal networks, that people love to see dogs on Facebook and Instagram.
I mean, I don't blame them.
Right. And so if you see a cute dog and a bandana having a good time downtown, you're automatically going to love that.
Yeah. And
Super
I'm
cute.
Where is this dog at? Oh, he's at Fall Line. Okay. See you there.
I'm going to Fall Line right now.
Not being weird at all,
No.
but
can I pet that dog?
can I pet that dog?
But and also a lot of places downtown are dog friendly, and that's good to know that, there's so many places that you can take your dog to. So it's another thing to
and
dog friendly events.
We've built on that and built a Hype Hounds approved program. So we have a list of businesses that are dog friendly, and our Hype Hounds are sponsored by Good Boy Goodies, which is a local dog treat company right here in Macon, Georgia. And also, this is the cutest thing ever. She has put vending machines, like old vintage bubblegum machines that have dog treats in them, at Barks and Brews and Fall Line.
I love it.
It's the
I've
coolest
seen those.
idea.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
I remember there was a First Friday that was like Hype Hound specific, and Ernie, it was like what did they call it? A pup crawl?
A pup cup crawl.
A pup cup crawl. And Ernie tried to go to every single one of the locations. He was not feeling great by the end of it. It was like how a human would be if they tried to go to every location of a pub crawl.
Yeah.
He was like doing the crooked walk by the end of it. Yeah. Too
many
many pup cups for that
Aw.
dog. But it was so great. He had so much fun. He was loving every second of it.
I love that.
That's awesome.
First Fridays, have they been around for like a long time, or have they just
Yes.
gotten bigger? Is that okay?
Yeah, First Friday's been around for decades. I don't know the exact year that it started. I know that it started as a chamber event and then moved to NewTown. And a big part of it was, getting open container for Friday nights, which we still have during First Friday. But the way I like to describe First Friday is that it's your ticket to downtown. It is going to be the best of the best to experience downtown. So our retailers are open later. All of our art galleries have their show openings that night. There's music on the streets. There's music in the venues. And it's just a really great way to get a taste of Macon. We have our staff, we didn't have, like a specific event we were putting on in February, and we got to walk around during First Friday, and it was magical. Like just all the people who were out, like seeing everyone you knew, everybody going into businesses and everything. It was really, really, really special time.
And there's something for everyone to do. Like now I have a 1-year-old, and so it's something that he enjoys, and he likes to ooh and ah. And so now my bedtime's also like 8 o'clock. So I get my fun in from like 5 to 8 or whatever that is, and get to go. But then I know, back in the day, my fun time was like 8 to 2 a.m. And so there's just something for everyone.
Yeah, this past one, there was Seuss on the Loose too. So there was a bunch of kids events that were happening. That was a ton of fun.
Yeah, for sure. And that's something we do in partnership with United Way every year as a way to promote literacy and learning downtown. But that's always a really fun First Friday where we get to, Seuss is on the loose. Seuss takes over downtown, and our businesses get involved, offering specials and different things like that. And then we have characters out. We have a kids band. So First Friday, there's definitely something for families to do at the beginning of the night, and it transitions into late night. So, it's definitely one of those nights where you see every demographic come out and enjoy downtown for sure.
And I love every now and then you guys have themes and stuff for whatever's going on. So I think that's really great.
And I love walking around First Friday, but also I just love how you can walk around everywhere downtown anytime, and the connectivity you get. And part of the connectivity in Macon is talked about through our map and the map program and how that's developed. How does NewTown get involved with how that map 2.0 and map XL and all of that has been sort of gone throughout the years?
Yeah, so the Macon Action Plan is primarily led by the Urban Development Authority, but we are a partner in developing that plan. So NewTown works really closely with the UDA to develop that plan with our consultants from Interface Studio, participating in the steering committee and the revisions and public input, promoting public input and all that good stuff. And the great thing about that plan is that it's community driven. So it's not the UDA or NewTown saying, this is what it needs to be. This is what we're doing. It's really about community input and hearing from people of every single zip code, not just people who live downtown, but every single zip code in Macon-Bibb County saying, downtown represents the best of Macon, and this is how we want to be represented downtown. And so I think that's what is really special about it. And then once that's developed by community input and put together, and we have those strategies, we start working the plan. And so I think the thing that's one of the other special things about the Macon Action Plan is that the strategies are so specific and they have someone assigned to do them. And that is really important when it comes to doing a plan. You have to know how it's going to be implemented. So there are definitely things that we know NewTown needs to do, the UDA needs to do, or the county needs to do, or Visit Macon, or the chamber, or, all of our incredible community partners. We know this is what these are our goals for the next couple of years. And the other thing that's been so special about the Macon Action Plan is that we've had grants for citizens to implement the strategies in the plan. And I think, when we talk again about those tipping points and different things, the Downtown Challenge was certainly one of those. It not only was a plan that was built by the community, but one that was implemented by the community. So Macon really felt ownership over what was happening in downtown. Someone who just had an idea, like Brian Nichols, who had the idea for the Macon Christmas Light Extravaganza. Why don't we have a light show downtown? Like we need something to drive business to downtown in the month of December. We need a light show. And he got a Downtown Challenge grant. And now we have a award-winning light show that was featured on ABC World News Tonight
Yes.
last year. So, he's not the only example of that. There are dozens of examples of just everyday citizens getting these grants and coming up, implementing their ideas for what they wanted to see downtown. So that's, I think, totally changed the game for not just downtown, but for all of Macon and how we approach the work that we do.
Yeah.
But is there something that, you want the public to know, maybe, about what NewTown does? I know you guys are constantly working with, entrepreneurs or somebody that's interested in looking to start a business. And how do you even start that? I mean, people can essentially just come to your door and be like, I have this crazy idea.
Yeah, we get visitors like that all the time. So come see us. We're located at 555 Poplar Street. We're right in the center and heart of downtown Macon. Our door is always open. So please come and talk to us. And I think, what you're saying is that we are, like I said, a community development financial institution, which is a very long word. But what that means is that we have the resources to help you if you want to start a small business, or if you want to buy a building and fix it up, or whatever the case may be. That's where we invest a lot of our time and energy. That's why downtown's been successful. So, we want to work with the next Patrick and Lauren of Macon Bagels, or the next Scott Mitchell, the Bohemian Den, and Sweet Eleanor's, or the next Nick and Bruce of Churchill's. So, come and talk to us. We also have a ton of training programs. So if you aren't ready to take that step to open a business, or you have an idea but you want some more resources, please look at our academies. We have an Entrepreneurs Academy that's focused on small business development, and you walk out there with the business plan. We have a Developers Academy. So if you see all these incredible buildings all around Macon, not just downtown, and you think you want to purchase one, rehab it, turn it into a rental property, even if it's just a duplex, come and talk to us about that, or take the Developers Academy. We also have our Marketing Academy, so teaching you all the best practices of marketing for your business, and then the Downtown Diversity Initiative, which is focused on getting more Black entrepreneurs into downtown storefronts. So there are a lot of great opportunities there. We do workshops all the time. We do one-on-one coaching. But if you have any interest in opening a business, working on a building, or you just have an interest in downtown, please come and talk to NewTown, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to serve our community and be sure that Maconites, whether they've lived here their entire lives, were born and raised here, or they became a Maconite by choice, that y'all are the ones who are really pushing our entire community forward. So that's what we're here to do.
And your team rocks at it. Y'all are amazing, phenomenal.
Yeah, I feel very lucky. I mean, I get to work with my friends, so it's really, really special. So we have a good time together. I mean, apparently the word has gotten out that we have happy hour every Friday at 4, and everyone's coming to visit us at NewTown.
That's the thing I was going to say is, like, you can always tell that the NewTown people just really love each other, and like they're all best friends. But yeah, I have recently heard that you guys have happy hour, and I might have maybe stopped by and been like, yeah, I'm joining for happy hour.
Yeah, we might start charging a cover.
I mean, you should probably, but
I love that. Your bid team's ambassadors are amazing. Every single time I bump into any of them, they have a smile on their face. They're happy to be there. They love what they're doing. And they also make our downtown look amazing.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Yeah, they are the best. I mean, like, and recognize them. If you've been downtown, if you come down more than once a month, you're going to recognize the bid ambassadors, because they're always out working, being sure that graffiti is removed, litter is picked up, dog poop is picked up.
Man.
That might be my PSA for this podcast.
Pick up your own dog poop.
Yeah, nobody wants to step in dog poop.
Yeah, like, we have this incredible downtown with all these visitors coming in every year. Please pick up after your
And
dog.
there are stations with baggies
Yes.
everywhere.
It's
Don't
not
make
like
the
it's
bid
impossible
ambassadors
to
do
find
that.
a spot to throw it away.
No.
Like,
Right. So, yeah. But yeah, so they do the unglamorous things that you don't think of, and you only notice if it's there.
Yeah.
So if you see our bid ambassadors in their bright blue shirts, please tell them thank you, because they are
Yes.
doing some sometimes not fun work, but they always do it with a smile, and they're really, really great and friendly about it.
and I mean, we've talked a lot about how downtown Macon has evolved, and even today, the day we're recording, we're at a ribbon cutting for the Otis Redding Foundation's new amphitheater and building. It's beautiful and fantastic. I look forward to the future that's going to bring. But sort of what do you see in our future here? Do you have any secrets you want to share? Do you, what do we got?
Ugh, have to have y'all sign an NDA.
Oh, goodness. Every single person that listens to this podcast.
Yeah, right. No, I mean, I think for the future of downtown and Macon, the biggest thing for me is that we continue to prioritize locals. I think that is what has set our story apart, and what we've been able to accomplish here is that it's always been Maconites that have made the things happen that we wanted to have happen. So, I think we're at this really special moment where we've got that going on, but all eyes are on Macon, like Jessica Walden at the Chamber likes to say. And, we feel that NewTown as a lender for small business and for real estate development and that sort of thing, we want to be sure that downtown continues to be that catalyst for Maconites to build prosperity for themselves and their families, to build generational wealth, for them to do it here, not to have to go somewhere else and do it. And so, I think we have all the right things in place to make that happen, and we'll continue to do that. But, I think we just have so many incredible opportunities too to get more people excited about what's going on in Macon, especially with the national park, with the new hotel developments that have been spoken about, and new developments that have been in the news recently. So, we're on the edge of, I don't even know what's about to happen in the next decade. Like, I think about, what's happened from 2014 to today. And it's been, just everything that's happened. Like, it's mind-blowing. It's truly mind-blowing. I'm speechless. I can't come up with the words. Yeah. But knowing what we're primed for in the next decade, God, y'all got to come to Macon.
Yeah. That was going to be my next question is, could you have ever imagined, the role that you're in now and seeing what you're seeing today? Like, when you first moved here, could you have imagined?
No, absolutely not. Truth be told, I thought I was leaving after the first week that I was here.
Hey, I was only supposed to be in Macon for 2 years for my signed contract. And then I was like, see ya.
Yeah. And now I'm here 11 years later. I never, ever would have thought that, I would have bought a house here and would have the role that I do here, and that I, have built this life for myself in this incredible community, and have, amazing friends, and get to talk to people like y'all about all this stuff and work with y'all and those kind of things. So, yeah, it's just... I never would have thought it, but that's the thing. I think so many people have that story and can tell you the exact same thing. And it's because, this community is just something else.
Well, and people have the choice of, as you mentioned, like, you could start a business anywhere else. You can leave and, pursue some other, endeavor somewhere else. But they choose Macon. And it comes back to that too, like choosing Macon. And
and also, like, I think Disto always says it, but like, Macon chose me too.
Exactly. For sure. Yeah, I definitely feel that way. Macon chose me and poured into me when they did not have to. She did not have to, but she did.
Thank you, Macon.
Yes.
I love it. I'm so excited to see what else happens. And I know we're definitely going to have you back on, because I'm sure in the next year or so we'll have plenty more to talk about, new projects and everything. I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much for talking to us and stopping by today. I can't wait to have you back on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank y'all for having me. This is such a fun way to celebrate Women's History Month.
Go women. Woo!